leftovers. Now this is a leftover chicken I had. I put it in the freezer and I took it out so we can make some soup out of it. So what we're gonna do first is I have some Swanson's cooking stock here, and I'm gonna use that. Remember, we're gonna save time, and I'm gonna just pour that into a pot that I have on the stove. You be throwing away food. We're going to try to show you how to use what you have and not throw away food. You can recycle these, the recycler. It's going to be really, really good. You can always like add more chicken to it, but by the time this stock settled down and I put the noodles in here and everything, it'll be just right. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut some onions, and I'm gonna turn this up to medium high and go ahead and put up some onions for it. And I'm going to actually kind of cut them up a little small. You can cut them however you want to, though. Okay, you can make this soup with turkey too, leftover turkey that you have on the holidays, or if you just like turkey. And I'm just going to cut this up like this. And you can make like a chicken vegetable if you have some peas and carrots or whatever you like. It don't have to be exactly the same way that I do it. Okay, maybe you have a public market by your house, or you want to just run down there and get some fresh green beans, or you know, something like that. But today I'm just make some chicken noodle. You know, I probably put a little more onion in it in a second, but just to get that going. So this onions are strong. I'm gonna take the meat off, and I'm gonna leave the skin. I'm gonna not use the skin in there. Now, if I was just boiling the whole thing afterwards, but I don't want to do that because it's gonna take too much time. I usually boil the skin and everything all in there together, the bones, and I will boil this part of the bone. And I usually do that. It's just to get all of the flavor out of there. And then I usually pick it out of the pot, but I don't want you to get burnt. So I'm just going to do it this way. And after the chicken is done, this comes off pretty easy. If you don't, just cut it. And again, just use your board that you use for meat. Don't use your board that you use for vegetables. And get all the meat off of there and get that skin off of there and try to get the fat out. And just get it going. And that's another thing you can do with your leftovers instead of just wasting and throwing things away. And I hope you're having a good time watching Missy. And now I am going to use this part of the bone right here to put it in the pot. Just is going to give it a lot of flavor. I'll pick it out when it starts boiling. I'll get it out of there. Right now I just want to get this chicken in there, and I'm not going to put it in there right now because it'll just get too stringy. I'll add it. skin off. You can wear gloves if you want to, but you know, my hands are clean. I must wash my hands like 100 times a day. If you work with food, you will. I don't know about you, but when I go to restaurants and stuff like that, I try to take a little peek in the back, see what it look like. I go in there, look at the floor and stuff, the windows. If I look at the windows and the windows is dirty, I don't even go in. Because who has dirty windows in a restaurant? Like right now, it's hot in here. So sometimes it's a little bit of time consuming, but it's really good afterwards, you know. I just hate to see people wasting food, you know, throwing food away and wasting it. Maybe you didn't eat this part of the chicken all the way down to the bone, but you can still use it for soup. A lot of our younger folks go to McDonald's, and I want you guys to watch this so you can do some other different things. I know it's getting kind of warm now to kind of make soup, but you know, still have winter months that's coming up, and you can always go back and look at the video and make some soup. When it starts getting a little bit cooler on a rainy day, soup is good. So there's a lot of things that, you know, you can do with, you know, your leftovers instead of just throwing them out and say, oh, I'm done with that. So just pile that skin up like that, and, you know, take that fat off of there. Okay. I'll be doing that all day if I don't let it alone, so. Has the rest of that onion in there. I'm going to go ahead and put that chicken, what I picked off, in here. One more time here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. Clean my mess up. Now I'll go back to cutting that rest of that onion and getting that in. So it's about this much chicken right here. But if you have a bigger chicken, it will work. You know, like maybe you have people over to eat and a lot of people don't like the all the way down to the bone or whatever. And then you could just use it. save it. Put it in the freezer, in the freezer bag. Plan on using it within the next week, week and a half. Make some soup. Or make a casserole. You can make a casserole too. And you can put carrots in here if you like. I'm going to go ahead and put some garlic in here. Just because I love garlic and it gives a good flavor. You don't have to put so much in there that you overpower it, but I'm going to go ahead and okay, so when after that starts to boil, in the meanwhile, I'm gonna go ahead and put in probably a couple, 2 or 3 bay leaves. I can pick them out later on. And put in some parsley flakes, probably about a teaspoon. Smells good. I'm gonna just grab a spoon here and see what it tastes like. Tastes rather good. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna take that bones that I put in there. I'm gonna take those out and throw them away. Bring it back up to a boil. I'm gonna go ahead and add some noodles in there. And I got these noodles at, let me see, Big Lots for $1. So, where I usually pay like a couple dollars for these, I just got them for $1. They have a lot of pasta there, so kitchen sheet here. Just add them right in there. I'm probably going to put it all in there because I actually like noodles. You can do like a half a bag or whatever. But I'll probably take some of this to work. So let's add that in there and turn it up and boil it. Till it's almost done, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add the chicken after that. And then that's it. That's what you can do with your leftovers. Hold on a second here. And we're gonna, that's quick meal. That's something that you can have ready by the time your kids get out of school. That's something that you can have for dinner. It's quick. It's easy. You know, you can even, after you freeze your, your chicken from a leftover meal, you can always come back. Turkey is really good because you know that carcass that you get after your holidays. You can get all that meat off of there that evening. And take that carcass and break it down and put it in the freezer, and then you'll be ready to go. Okay? Oh, this is looking really, really good. Really, really good. And I already tasted it, so I know how it's going to taste. If you just taste the pot liquor, you pretty much know how your food is going to taste. Pretty much. Because if I get to tasting too much, I'll be just getting me a plate or something, or a bowl, and just be standing up eating it. You know. And so I can't really do a lot of gluten, I found out, since I done got older. And I taste some like gluten-free things. Oh my goodness, some of that stuff is horrible. You know, I got a gluten-free recipe book. I'm gonna try some of it. That bread be so hard and dense, I just can't stomach it. So every once in a while I'm gonna get me some regular bread, you know. But it's just too much, you know, the gluten-free stuff. It just, I don't know, I haven't tasted any yet that really absolutely tastes good. So I'm gonna have to experience that somewhere. So if you know of a good place, hey, hit me up on my email and let me know. I'll go try it out, see what it tastes like. And you know these lights is hot. Okay, so, oh, this is looking really well. I'm gonna go ahead and add the chicken. Oh yeah, now we talking. I'm gonna add a little more parsley in here. And it's smelling so good. I don't want all of the water, the broth to cook down all the way, because I like to have some broth in my bowl, you know. And then I don't want to overcook the noodles either. They're almost done. But no, those flavors coming together now is good. It got the garlic in here, the parsley, the onions, the noodles, the chicken, the stock. And I don't use that stock that is totally fat-free. I don't like the way it tastes, you know. Or no, low sodium, that's what it is. That is, I don't know, something about that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and fish out these bay leaves in here and get them out. In my family, we didn't, you know, because you don't even, I don't want nobody to get choked on them, you know. Some people, if they never use them before, is this edible? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and turn that down, and it's ready. It's ready to go. So that's something that you can do with your leftover chicken. This is Missy, and I'll be back with more leftover tips. Hi, this is Missy, and we're still talking about leftovers. And I have some rice here with some raisins, and we're gonna go ahead and make some rice pudding. Now I have this double boiler on the stove. I'm not trying to heat this up and boil it. This is the sweetened condensed milk, and I'm gonna go ahead while it's just barely warm and just beat one egg and put it in here. And I already have my vanilla in there. And I'm going to take this spatula and I'm going to give it a really good stir and turn this off because I don't want it to cook. Stir it really good. And I'm actually going to take it off of the fire and just stir it really good. I just kind of wanted to just barely warm it just a little bit. And you don't have to have a double boiler like mine. You could just use a pot and then another pot that's just a little bit smaller, and just put a little water in there just to loosen it up. That's all you want to do. So I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to tell you how I ended up having so much rice. I had one of those honey baked hams. This is a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I had one of those honey baked hams for Easter, and then I had too much left, so I put it in the freezer. And then I made some lima beans and ham. Okay, so then it was a lot, and I was going to be the only one eating, so I ate about 3 bowls, and I thought, well, I'll take the rest of it to work and share it. and I didn't cook no rice. And so sometimes when I'm in a hurry, I'll cook rice in the microwave. It takes about 22 to 23 minutes while I'm getting everything else ready. And so I thought, well, I can just cook some in the microwave at work. Well, it didn't turn out the way that I do it at home. First of all, I wasn't familiar with that crock pot that's in the inside insert, and I didn't get up and stir it in between. So it came out where it was done halfway and nice and fluffy on top, and underneath it was gummy. And I was like, wow. So I took that off and was able to serve the good part of the rice, and then I was gonna throw the rest of it away. And I thought, well, what can I do with it? So I said, well, I can make some rice pudding. So this is rice and raisins and cinnamon, and then you don't have to make the sauce from scratch. Just get some evaporated milk. So just put it in there. You can use whatever size, however much rice you have left. And I'm just gonna use whatever and fill it up. So I have 1 egg in here, a teaspoon of vanilla, and 1 can of evaporated milk. And then I'm gonna just put that right in here like this, and I'm gonna mix it. And I'll also put some butter in here to keep it from sticking. Put the rest in there. Stir it up really, really good. We're still talking about not wasting food and doing something different with it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put the butter in there. And this is gonna help it not to stick and just really give it a really and it smells good already. And be like, is that rice? After it cooks, it'll be fine. So I'm gonna actually put this on 350 to get the rest of this out of here, and cook it for about till it's nice and brown. Oven is already on because in the center, and it's ready to go. This is Missy, and I'll be right back.